What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and we're going to be checking out the charts. We may go over some altcoins. As you guys know, I said if we got 1,000 likes on today's video that I would do a live stream tonight. So here I am. Let me know you guys can see me in the chat. Also, let me know where you're watching from just to get an idea of where you're all from. So anyways, are we going to see that 17.7 or are we going to come up and test this 24.2, 24.3 range? And that just being this old target here that we broke through. So that should be resistance. Although, like I talked about, we could get up as high as the 26, 27,000 range. That is still a possibility. But it is looking like we may see that 17.7 first. Now, if that breaks, it could get really ugly really fast. If this shoots straight down, I do think that we could bottom before 2023. Otherwise, I think we range in this vicinity for a good 4 to 6 months, possibly longer. But we'll talk about it. I'll look at some more close stuff. Watching from Canada, what's up? What's up, Looney, Danny, JK, Terry, Jamil. What's up, Chris? Are they mini bear trapping right now? It's possible. As you guys know, let's just take a look at what we're looking at here. I'm going to get this off of here right now. But as you guys know, we had this target of this rising channel. Once we broke, we had the target that did hit right here. We came back up. It's kind of made another rising channel here, which could possibly be a bear flag. We've talked about that, and if that is, that gets us that target when we broke this bear flag to about the 17.7. That is why I'm looking at that area. If you measure just the rising channel here, it gets us down to that 24.2, which we broke. I do believe that will be resistance. Now again, if we get above that and make this support, then we are looking at retesting this trend line here. I'll zoom in so you guys can see that. And then we have this lower target around 67, 68,000. That's just looking at this whole thing as a bear flag. Everybody thinks I'm saying this is going to happen in one big flash, but like I showed you guys, when this broke over here, when it broke this 52,000 range right here, we had a measured move, and this was back in December 21. It was actually December 4th, 2021, right before I started right after I started talking about the Amazon to Bitcoin comparison bubble. Once this broke, it gave us this target of 24.3. That's why I think that'll probably be heavy resistance now. But you can see that took from December all the way to June to break down there. So again, when I make these targets, it doesn't mean it's straight down, but eventually these targets do hit. You guys need to understand that. A lot of people don't get that. I can remember when we bounced here, everybody said I was wrong. When we bounced here, everyone said I was wrong. When we bounced here where I called the 48 top, everyone said I was wrong. That because they just look at this long term, guys. This is the daily chart. This takes time to play out. Ohio, what's up, TN? Kansas, Missouri, Ozarks, awesome place. Went there last year, Rusty. South Dakota, St. Croix, nice. What's up, Brooke? D-Man in Canada. All right, so anyways, I just wanted to explain that real quick. These targets don't mean they hit right away. That's just not how it works. And like we have this break of the trend up here, and I've been showing you guys if we measure this as the flagpole, this being the bear flag, that's where I get the target to around the 6,800 range, right in that range. That's where I get that target. So you guys know. No, it doesn't mean we go straight down, but as you can see, we are dumping pretty heftily. Pretty much had to see what happens. This almost looks like a reversal candle here. We've seen them before, and they just come back up to retest this area. And now this may take a few days. It's possible. Tomorrow is going to be interesting in the markets. As you guys know, my Dow Jones chart, I had said if we open and close below this, which we have open and close the daily, I'd like to see tomorrow's because there could be volatility in the market because of the data coming out from Powell, our favorite person. So anyways, we'll see what happens here. Tomorrow's going to be very interesting. If this stays, opens and closes below here, I believe the Dow could be in serious trouble. I know a lot of people don't believe that, but if you look back from the Great Depression over here, this is making almost identical market structure. And it matches up with, you know, it would go right along with the Amazon to Bitcoin comparison chart. And that low of 37.20, like I said, my low prediction for Bitcoin is between 3,000 and 7,000 in 2022, unless we just break straight down here and get a bounce, you know, somewhere around the 10, 11. If this goes straight down, we're going to get a big bounce. But as you can see, it is looking like it's playing out almost identical to the Amazon chart over here. It's eerily similar, guys. And what happened over here, every pump up, everyone got bullish, but called the bottom a million times all the way down, kind of like they're doing now. So something to be aware of. But if you look at this low, we could look at this low here. That would show us going back up to probably maybe test that 30,000 range if it plays out identical. It doesn't have to be identical. You can see this first peak over here was almost as high as the second peak. Our first peak in Bitcoin wasn't even close to as high, but nevertheless, the market structure is the same. And this was a bubble pop to get rid of all the scams. I believe we got to get rid of all the crypto scams, and that could take, you know, till middle to end of next year if it plays out this way. We will be watching it. Like I said, if we break 48K, this is invalid. But also remember that if it does play out like this, that's going to put a lot of fear in the market. A lot of people are going to lose their trust in crypto if this happens. And this took 10 years before Amazon broke the all-time high again. Does that mean that has to happen in Bitcoin? It does not, but it is something that you need to think about and think of as a possibility. People were so sure of 100,000. Now people are so sure, you know, they think the market's just going to bounce back up and that's going to be it. If this plays out, right, we had after that another big wave one right here. And then we had our 3. And I mean, it went to the moon after that. Amazon just roared after that, but it took 10 years to break that old all-time high. Just remember that. So it's not going to shoot up straight to the moon and blow past. I know everybody talks about the 4-year cycles, which I get. It sounds great, but if you look at markets, every market has a 4-year high-low cycle. Everything does. It's election time, guys. It's political. Elections are presidential election is every 4 years. I think it has absolutely nothing to do with the halving. The halving, you know, they make it sound like it makes Bitcoin more rare. It does not make Bitcoin more rare. There's going to be 21 million Bitcoin. And when there's a halving, all that does is half the amount that gets put out daily gets cut in half. There's still more every day. So it's not making less Bitcoin. So, you know, I just that narrative is completely wrong, just something they use as a narrative. But if you look, it's always on the election year. And if you look at the markets, all markets react at those times. So just something to think about. Here's a weekly chart. We knew right here when this 21, the 13, and the 8 EMA crossed the 55, we had a weekly sell. Everybody called me crazy, and you can see what happened after that. And then we broke this. And now our major resistance on the weekly is around 26, 27,000. The same as I showed you would be coming up to retest. Where is it? This trend line right here that we broke. So if we came back up and tested that, it could be around 26, 27,000. We'll be keeping an eye on that. But first, we would have to get past this 24, say around 24.3, 24.5. We can always get wicks up in here. Now, another thing to look at on the 4 hour, and then I'll get into the chat and answer some questions. Maybe we'll take a look at some alts. But on the 4 hour, our resistance on the EMA 4 hour is going to be around 22.5, 22.6. If it can blow past that. But look, ever since they crossed here and gave us the 4 hour sell, we've not been able to get above. Well, we did tag the 13. So the 13 right now is sitting at about 23.2. The 21 EMA will line up with that 24.3, 24.5 range. So expect major resistance there. If it does climb back up here in the next few days, it will line up with the 55 EMA, which will be around this trend line that we broke over here. So, but unless we break 24.2 to 24.3, I'm expecting to see us get down to the 17.7 range. Now, that doesn't mean it has to bounce there. It all depends on what happens in the markets, but I would expect a bounce there. If it does blow through, this may become resistance after that, so keep that in mind. And again, timing on the market is the hardest thing to judge. As you can see here, we had that target of 24.2 forever. Actually, if we go over to the daily chart, I'll go to this chart in a minute, but if we go over the daily chart, like I said, we made this target back on December 3rd when this broke. We made this target. Actually, we made it before then. We were just, once it broke, then it confirmed that we were going to that 24.3, but that took 6 months. So just keep that stuff in mind, guys. When I show you these targets, it doesn't mean it's going to happen in 10 minutes. It's not going to happen in a day, 2 days. This stuff takes time, especially when I'm looking at it on the daily chart. So anyways, time for a multi-year bear. It definitely could be possibly a multi-year bear. I've showed you guys my chart. Where is it? Showing that we could have ended this could have all been just one big bull market. 5 waves in one giant bull market since Bitcoin's creation, and we've hit the 5th wave, and we could have years of downside. That's another possibility. Well, people don't like to admit that, but it is definitely a possibility. And the other thing that shows you that, as you can see this indicator right here, the RSI, what the hell is it called? I can't think of it now. It is the supply and demand, RSI supply and demand. As you can see, the end of wave 1, you had this big supply and demand structure. Of wave 3, big supply and demand structure. And wave 5, same thing, big supply and demand structure. Something to think about. AJ Martinez, the Great Depression is underway. It is definitely possible. It's definitely a possibility. Let's take a look at the DXY. I haven't looked at it since this morning. Well, we got a little above our target here of 105.63. Guys, if we get above this and get support, the dollar is going to absolutely moon, and that will pretty much confirm that the markets are in big trouble. As you can see, I drew this channel right from these lows right here, and we came up and tagged it again. We actually did. I'm going to zoom in and make sure we did break that. Actually, yes, we broke it. We broke it right here. We did get a break above it, so we could really blow past that, guys. So be careful here. Again, we could come back down and retest this 104.20 range before doing it, get a little reset. But it's not looking bullish. There's nothing looking bullish. I've been saying that for over a year. And people just don't want to see it this way. I'm not telling you I'm 100% right. I'm telling you need to look at it this way and quit following the people that think it only goes up. And everyone was calling me negative for calling these lows. Now we finally hit them. Now they still want to just call me overly bearish. Well, we're going to the targets. What don't you get about that? Southwest Florida, Rita in the house. What's up, man? Michigan, can we still trust banks with our savings? That is 100% up to you. I, right now, trust the banks to hold my money. But You do what you do. DXY is making bearish divergence. Crypto killers, I went over this. You cannot use divergence let me show you some examples. Right here we had bearish divergence. Doesn't play out. You can't use the RSI for divergence in an index. You cannot trade the DXY. You can trade the dollar. You can look at it and use the RSI on the dollar against the euro, the dollar against the yen, whatever. But you cannot use it on an index because you don't trade the DXY. I hope that makes sense to you. So the RSI really doesn't have any significance to it on an index. This is the dollar compared to multiple currencies. So you can't trade the DXY. So therefore, divergence doesn't really work on these charts. Just a little bit of info for you. So let's take a look at something else real quick. I pulled it up. Oh, this is I drew this before this even broke a long time ago. I pulled it up today and just thought it was funny. Does look like we're headed there. So straight to the moon, guys. Anyways, this is the gaps. Everybody always wants to talk about the gaps that are above us, right? Well, we finally closed this gap, so we can take that off 24/7. Let's get rid of that. We made a gap up here, so we still got a gap up top. Actually, we have another gap at 27.6. But anyways, let's look at the gaps below us. We still have one at 18.69 or 18.695. As you can see it right there. We still have one at 11.2. Let me zoom in so you can see it right here. We still have, but they don't want to talk about them low gaps. Why? I have no idea. There's a gap right here too at 97.40. Right here is a big gap. Now, there's some lower gaps too, but these are not in the daily. We can zoom in a little bit. This one is at 76.30. We can see it on the 8-hour. Is that valid? Possibly, because I will show you something else. Actually, this one is at 76.25. Then we have one all the way down to that. Let's get down here, right here. 35.70. Show you it real quick. Right there is a big gap at 35.70. So just to show you guys that, like I said, doesn't mean it has to hit. But again, my opinion is that we do see 3,000 to 7,000 by 2023 sometime. Again, it could happen much quicker than that. We'll see. But with everything going on in the markets today, guys, it is not looking good for the markets, man. Unless they artificially pump everything again, which again, that's a possibility too, I guess. Buck says Bitcoin never again, 69K. All lower gaps will fill. Looks like we have another 3 black crows on the weekly. Well, if the weekly closes like this, we may. If you guys were following me, let's get back over here. Back to... No, on the weekly, we don't. I mean, we had it up here, but obviously that took off. But if you guys watched me back here, if I put this on the monthly, I made a video when these 3 black crows right here were formed. You can look back at my videos, 1, 2, 3. These 3 black crows on the monthly, I gave a warning. Again, everyone called me crazy. But I see what you're saying. We could be, depending on how this monthly closes, that could be another 3 black crows. Now remember, when we got these 3 black crows, we got a little pump back up. So could we get a little pump back up to that 32,000 area-ish? Possibly. We'll see what happens here, though. But yeah, we could definitely see another 3 black crows here. There's plenty of room on the monthly for more downside. I know a lot of people like to say the weekly's bottomed, blah, 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 but there's plenty more room to go down. And if you look at this, and you can say this isn't valid, say it is, whatever you want to say, but if you look here, there's major bearish divergence there on the monthly. So just something to think about. This could definitely be a longer term bear market that we've been talking. JKB, 3 black crows. Google it and you'll see. Say, just Google 3 black crows. The opposite of this would be 3 white soldiers. We get 3 white soldiers. The continuation of the trend. Usually these are at the top of the trend. You could consider this trended up right here because it went up what? Maybe, let's see. Measuring tools out. So this one up 47%. So you could call that an uptrend and then, you know, another continuation to the downside. So just something to watch, guys. But again, this is what I'm looking at now. This was these are those fractals that I showed you. I posted this the beginning of last week sometime. And it does seem to be playing out too. Now, if we look over here, let's pull the RSI up, right? So the RSI is really low right now, so it looks like it bottomed. But we've seen that right here too, and that low was way up here. So then we got some sideways action before more downside. Did we do the same thing over here? We did. The low was right up here. We got some more sideways action before the downside. So the actual low in the RSI was higher, giving it bullish divergence to go up. But just so you can see how that works, because a lot of people like to talk about oversold and overbought. That is not how the RSI works. Last bear market was 562 days. Yeah, if you count it as a 4-year cycle. But like I said, this could have been just one huge bull market since the beginning of Bitcoin. And now we are in the actual first bear market. Bitcoin has never been in a bear market. It's been in a bull market since inception. Exactly. Like in the stock market also, Bitcoin has never seen a stock market bear market. Ever since 2008 crash, 2009, the market has been straight up. So you seen what happened in 2020, March 2020, when the market had a crash. So if the market is going to have a big crash, Bitcoin is in serious trouble. It will not hold up. It is a speculative asset, regardless of what anyone says. If the markets crash, Bitcoin cannot sustain itself. So anyways, these are the areas I'm watching. Like I said, this is for those of you that have just joined. Around this 24.2, 24.3, if we cannot get back above that, I see us next stop around 17.7 area, being just looking at this as a flag pull, this being the bear flag, and that's the measured move. You could look at the bull, the flag pull way up here. Let's do that just for shits and giggles and see what that would be. So if we look at the flag pull from way up here, what would that target be? That target would be around 1177. Let's look at something else. This chart I showed this morning. Where is it? I got too many charts up, guys. Sorry. Right here. So this is the Fib extensions. I'm sorry. Fib channels. Somebody asked earlier what channels I use. That's a 0, the 0.236, 0.382, 0.5, 0.618, 0.786, and 1-to-1, right? So I just went from the bottom to the top here. Now this only starts in 2011, so there's more to it. So this could be off a little bit, but you can see every time it hits one of these, it's support and resistance, right? We are below over here, right? So unless we open and close a candle above that 24.3 range, it's funny that that lines up exactly with the area we're looking for resistance, right? So if we can't get back above this fib, then our next fib level is right here. Depending on how fast it gets down there, that could also be right around that 11 to 12,000 for the next support. But if it takes a few months, could be up as high as 14. So this is something we're going to be keeping an eye on daily. So make sure, if you guys don't mind, take a second out, smash that thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, if you're new here, I do daily updates every day on the market. We're trying to keep track of where this is going, and so far, so good. So make sure you give me a follow if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Twitter. Also, if you scroll down in the description below the video, you'll find my Discord. Free. It's totally free. A lot of people in there trading. There's people scalping, whatever. As you guys know, I'm not a scalp trader. I like to swing trade. I like to be in trades for a longer time, lower leverage. It's a lot less stressful, and I don't have to sit at the computer all day. Although I do sometimes. Video. This might be interesting if the Fed has rhetoric alluding to a 1% hike could be in the cards. Savvy's bottom maybe hit soon. It's possible. 1% though. That's, I know everybody's expecting 75 points, but we'll see. Like I said, tomorrow's gonna be interesting. Let's look at the DXY. DXY is trying to move back up there, guys. I think this might be the first clue. If this RSI breaks, or I'm sorry, if the DXY breaks this and gets support up here overnight before the Fed announcement, that's pretty much going to confirm that it's bad news for the markets. If Tether and stablecoins get regulated, then we're in serious trouble. It's another possibility. Not use momentum indicators to pick bottom or top. I'm surprised people are still bullish on the dollar. 23 countries just opted out of it. What 23 countries? You have something I could look that up because I haven't heard anything about it. Reminded it, hit the like button. Thanks, Sam. Craig, how did you learn what you know about swing trading? JK, lots and lots and lots of hours in front of the screen. It's really the only way. There's no program you can take. The only way to really get good at trading is to watch a lot of videos, learn how to chart, and practice. Like I said, the best way to practice is start with a fake account. A good way to do it, you can go on to PrimeXBT, which is right here. You can go up to here in the contest section, and there's free contests where you get free money. So you can play with a fake account, and then if you start to get profitable and you want to play with real money, then you put in some Bitcoin or Tether or whatever you're trading, $5 or $10. If you can grow that, then maybe you want to put more in and grow that. But if you can't grow $5 or $10, and if you can't even use a free account and make it profitable, then there's no sense in to start trading until you get a process down and learn risk management. Too many people get in and don't use stop losses. And if you're following anyone that's trading and not using stop losses, they get liquidated. They're not trading, they're gambling. There's a big difference. And most people have to learn it the hard way. I did. Bitcoin is going to 100. Savvy, what do you think of my theory I posted about going to Obama levels? I don't know that I've seen it. If it's on Twitter, there's tons of tweets on there. I don't get to every tweet. I cannot sit on the phone all day and tweet. High cycle bottom, Savvy. Brad Clark, all countries are inflating their dollars. US dollars inflating a lot less. It's way more stable. True. No pi cycle, they ate it all. You're the only YouTuber who predicted this dump. Congrats. Thanks, man. There's a guy out there that copied my Amazon comparison chart. Cycle bottom, what altcoin will survive? If any. Here's my Ethereum. As you guys know, my target's still around 680. Right now, resistance is about 1564. Remember when we broke the 1919, my next target was 1564. We came up, retested a few times, which we could here too. If we get a pump in the markets, we could retest this before coming down here. So again, guys, doesn't mean it happens in a day. This could take time. Litecoin, as you guys know, my target's around 24. Could be much, much lower if we are in a long-term bear market. But these charts are 6 months old, and the XRP chart here. People call me crazy. We almost hit that 28. I still think we come down and tag this. We could come back up as high as 39 cents, somewhere in there. But depending if we get that pump. If we get the dump, then I think this breaks and we head towards 17. We could see single digit XRP pennies if it is a long-term bear market. Gold, as you guys know, I'd said gold anytime we're below this, and I can extend this now a little bit. Below this is bearish. If gold's able to get back up in here, markets could be getting bullish again. Remember, every time traditional markets dump, silver, gold, everything dumps with it. The only thing that rises is the dollar, because people are selling. Smart money is selling, getting out of the markets into the dollar. And then when everything bottoms, they take the dollar and they buy everything and they ride it up for years. What do you think of the idea of BTC is not like Amazon, because Amazon was the altcoin? BTC is way larger market cap and isn't responsible for making a return. It's a market. Crypto Trader says we may develop a bottom between 18 and 20K. Yep, that's what everybody thinks. And usually when everybody agrees on a bottom, it goes much, much lower. We've seen that in many, many, many cycles. Could we take a look at the US 30 one of these days? Yeah, one of these days, bud. All right, where does ADA bottom? All right, let's take a look at some altcoins for a few minutes, and then I'm going to get out of here. So if you guys want to put down what altcoin, I'll pull up my shitcoin chart, and we'll look at some altcoins. Good to see you, Martial Law. Take it easy, Steven. All right, ADA. So we've looked at most of these, so we'll see how, if I was accurate on the last time I looked at this stuff. Yep, so far pretty damn accurate. We broke this, and we have a target for ADA right here. So this is telling me that there's lower to go for everything, for sure. So let's put the target on for ADA. This is the weekly. Let's go down to the daily. Sorry about that. Which I already had it on there. So it's in there. Yeah, we have the target of 18 cents for ADA. It looks like it's going to hit, guys, so I would be careful there. Unless we can break back above this again. If it breaks back above that 50, let's say 52 and a half, if it breaks back above that and gets support, then this is invalidated. But so far, so good. I'm not going to make a new chart because this one seems to be playing out pretty damn good. FTM, Phantom. I think I've looked at that before. Not 100% sure. FTM. Probably looked at it on the 4-hour, I'm guessing. I don't know, but Phantom, same thing. All these altcoin charts look the same. Definitely looks like a whole lot more room for downside. If you look at these lows here and these lows here, look how much the RSI retrace. Definitely set up for more downside. This thing is in severe trouble, in my opinion. Let's see, ICP. Pretty sure I looked at that too. Problem is, I don't remember which exchanges I looked at this stuff on, but ICP, same thing. They're all the exact same chart, guys. Exact same chart. And if you look at here, look at this divergence. Look how much this RSI moved and the price has not. RSI is going up, price is going down. It's hidden bearish divergence. We're in a downtrend. That's a continuation of the trend. These have much lower to go. SOL. Let's look at SOL. Oh, there we go. So here was my last look, and I did exactly what we thought. I had my target here, bounce back up, hit up here, and my target's around 20 bucks. It's actually probably going to be lower than that because we broke lower. So we're going to move that target down now. And this was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago I did this. So around 16 bucks is where I look at Solana. Chainlink. All right, let's take a look at Link. Oh, it went up a little higher. But same thing. This thing is creating some divergence here, guys. Looks like the resistance could be as high as $7.14. We got the 55 EMA. Let's go into the daily. Yeah. This is a little divergence here, little bullish divergence in the downtrend. So definitely a bounce, but nothing crazy. Still more downside. Let's take a look at where it could go. This is the same thing. They all made this same little bear flag here, guys. All of them. So the resistance is about $7.50. There's going to be two targets here. Let's take a look at both of them and link. First one being the break of this. So we're going to put this target here. And these are quick looks, guys. I don't trade this, so I'm not watching these charts all the time. Just kind of showing you guys how I get my ideas, where I get them from. Let's pull price label. First target 444. And then if we look at this thing here, remember how I do it. I take the break of the trend, which here's the trend. There was the break. So we take this whole thing, looking at it as a flagpole. And this being the bear flag. The low could be negative. Well, that probably isn't going to happen, but we could take, I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible, but that would be pretty devastating. Let's take a smaller bear flag just to give hope. Let's put a target up here. 23 cents. Low. That's if we go into that long-term bear market, which is definitely a possibility, guys. Ethereum, I've already showed the Ethereum chart. This chart's 6 months old. I haven't changed it a bit. Don't plan to. This was from this morning, looking at this wave count. We could still be going down, like I said, to that. Our first support is going to be around 20,150. Could be the end of the third wave. Otherwise, 17 at 17.7 is looking pretty hefty, guys. That was pretty funny. Go back to the shitcoin charts. All right, what other tunas? Shitcoins. GMT. Which exchange to use? That one's already playing out. Let's take a quick look at it. This is the daily, guys, so 'This thing's all bad. We're going to take it from the small triangle here where it broke down. We have a much lower target, but I'm going to give you this one first. But 33 cents could go all the way down to nothing. Sand. All right, let's take a look at sand. Oh, we had our targets of sand. Look at that. That target hit. And these were from way back here. That's why I say timing is tough. But guys, this was from way back here. And we did hit that low target there. May get a little bounce from here, possibly. But that looks like a dying penny stock to me. It's pretty ugly. But yeah, we did almost hit this low. We almost to the T. You can see where I put it way back here, right? So that was just measuring off of this, but and we did hit our top up here. Damn, that was a pretty accurate chart. Still looks like it has a lot lower to go. May get a bounce first, but it's not looking pretty. AVAX. Let's do ENS. ENS. Try to figure out what one I use. Oh, there we had this target here. That target still remains the same. Obviously, it could go much lower, but I'm going to keep that target we had there. This actually could change something like this. Could go much lower. Let's take a look at that. Might be another zeroed out one. $667 to $355. Glitch. Glitch. What am I going up against? Same thing. This looks just like all the other ones. Plenty more downside. We made some room for the RSI. We got hidden bearish divergence here. Remember, hidden divergence is a continuation of the trend. We had lower highs. Make this bigger so you can see it. And here we have higher highs. Hidden bearish divergence. Much further down to go. Michael Jones, great work, Craig. I've been 90% cash since November. Would send more, but I'm holding on to my cash until bottom. Right on. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I have to come down to 600. I have a target from 6 months ago that's 680. Could go much, much lower. Like I said, if we're in a long-term bear market, guys, tomorrow's going to be a huge. Tomorrow's going to be a lot easier to see what's going on after the Fed announcement and whatnot. I really don't believe in the news. You guys know that. I think the answers are in the charts prior. And these charts are saying that we're probably getting bad news tomorrow, and the markets are probably going to go much lower. How's the DXY? DXY is still holding up here. Again, if the DXY gets above this 105.63 and holds it, it's going to be ugly for the markets. So anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Smash those thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Make sure your notification bell is ticked. I will be doing a video in the morning for your morning update prior to market close. So thanks a lot, guys. I'm out.